Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Unbreakable Self training session. I'm your host, Dr. Dave. In this training session, it is What Up Wednesday, and I'm speaking on how to mobilize the tissue around your elbow if you ever have elbow pain, whether it be tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, or just some tinnitus going on in your triceps muscle. Now, there's going to be two tools that I personally use anytime I want to mobilize the tissue around my elbow, so that I can be more effective in my workouts, more effective in playing golf or whatever sport or activity I want to play. One of the easiest ways to work on the muscles around your elbow is going to be what's called a Voodoo Floss, colloquial term. A compression floss is really what it is. I got this on Rogue Fitness. This is the Mobility Wad brand. There's a bunch of brands out there. Most of them are pretty similar. You can't go wrong if you just find one. So go on either Rogue Fitness or fringesport.com, which is here in Austin, and I'm a big fan of that. The other tool I'm going to show you guys, which is just a lacrosse ball, something super simple. We're going to work on the tissues around the elbow. I'll show you guys how to do that as well. So the first thing that you're going to do, anytime you got some inflammation here, number one, this is without a shadow of a doubt the first place I would start. I would always start with hydration. Hydration is super important. You got to get that fluid dynamics going. You got to get good water in you. You got to get that inflammation out. So the easiest way to start there is just hydration. Just take however large you are, right, your body mass, and then just multiply that by 2, and that's how many ounces, divide that by 2. I said multiply, I meant divide. So if you're a 200-pound male, you're going to drink about 100 ounces of water at a minimum per day. If you're working out, then add about 30% on that. So you drink about 130 ounces. If it's hot, again, you got to consider what your environment is all about. So relatively drink about 100 ounces of water a day. If you're a smaller human, you don't need quite as much, but you kind of get the idea. All right, so again, take your body weight, divide it by 2, and then you're going to get the amount of water that you're going to get or you're going to need throughout the day. So that's number one as far as how to take care of any type of inflammation, any type of swelling you got going on. Number two, what I would do is I would actually Voodoo Floss, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with just like a little bit of a band here, and you're just going to wrap it around the outside of that. I kind of hold it against my body. I'm just going to wrap it around the outside just so I get it so it's tense, right? So now that it's tense, right, it won't move around on me, and that's when I can continue to wrap it, and I pull at about a 50% stretch. So I'm pulling at about a 50% stretch, not 100%. You definitely don't want to do this at 100% because it's going to cinch off all the blood vessels, and you're going to look like you have massive biceps, but you don't want to keep it on for too long. So I'm going to go all the way around, wrapping it around my elbow, like so. Perfect. And when you get to the end, then just find a spot, tuck it up underneath, and it'll stay on. Perfect. All right, so just like that. So what you're going to notice is a couple things. One is that it's going to be compressing the tissue on that elbow, and all you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do some just open chain range of motion. You're just going to move through range of motion. So I'm just going to flex and extend at my elbow. I'm literally just flexing, extending, flexing, extending. I'm just going to do that 10 times. And once I've done that, then I'm going to go through some closed chain range of motion. So I'll show you. I'm going to just do a quick push-up here, about 10 push-ups. So I'm just going to go down, come back up. Perfect. All right. So I did 10 of those, and that's it. That's all you really need to do. Now, all I want to do is I just want to unwrap. You're going to let all that blood flow to come back in. And then if you got a lot of inflammation, you can repeat that cycle 2 more times. For instance, if you just had a big injury or something like that, you can definitely do it. If you have an ankle injury, same idea. Wrap that ankle, do it 2 to 3 times, depending on how much inflammation you have. And then you can go on to the next step. But I would definitely never keep this on more than 90 seconds. You want to create a tourniquet effect. You want to get that blood flow to get back into the tissues and fuse it back in there. And you're going to notice that if you have a lot of inflammation, there might be some pitting going on in there. And so what that's doing, that's getting all that inflammation out. So this is a super simple way. These are like 10 bucks online. Super simple way in order to effectively mobilize tissues around your elbow. Let me show you the next trick. Number 2 is going to be working on the lacrosse ball. I'll show you 2 spots you're going to work on. Now, I have this also in the Unbreakable Body Fix program, that functional integrated exercise training program that I have online. And this is showing you exactly how to mobilize the tissue around your elbow. I'll show you basically how to do if you have tennis elbow and then also your triceps muscle here. So what I do is I actually just hold tension right on that spot there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to flex my wrist and then extend. So I'm going to extend here rather, and then flex my wrist. So I'm going to extend my wrist, flex. I'm just going to go through range of motion about 10 times. Again, if you have a lot of tension in there, if you've got a lot of tightness, inflammation, it's going to be pretty sore, pretty tender. So you can be the dictator of how much pressure you're going to put on there. I'll see also people that'll just hold their own thumb in there and they'll just move through range of motion that way. That's a start. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, just get in there with your own thumb. If you're not strong enough, then use a lacrosse ball. Super simple. Number 2 is working on your triceps. So what I like to do, I actually like to sit this up on a box and then go through range of motion this way. If you don't have access to a box or a table or a chair or something like that around, you can literally just hold on to it just like this, and you're just going to flex and extend. Flex and extend. And so that's all you're going to do. So you're just flexing and extending at the elbow. Now, you don't necessarily have to be all the way up. If you have a sore spot up here, kind of in your tricep, then work there. Typically, a lot of people have a lot of tension, pain right on that insertion point into their elbow. So all you're going to do is you're going to flex and extend at the elbow, going through range of motion right there. So that is absolutely how I would take care of any inflammation, tightness, tenderness after an injury, or if you just have some tinnitus in your elbow due to playing too much tennis or doing some tricep work, whatever you were doing. So again, Voodoo Floss number 1, and then you're going to mobilize. Always hydrate. That's absolutely imperative. You can't go out or can't go without it. That's number 1. So again, Voodoo Floss, lacrosse ball work. Try this stuff out. If you guys like it, comment below. Tell me what you thought, what happened afterwards, so I can improve this stuff, guys. Thank you for watching today. If you like this stuff, please share it with your friends, family, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.